the more I've talked with people and connected all around the world, is a genuine spirituality that goes along with martial arts. So I'll give you a couple of very practical examples.
Yeah.
If the interview with Dio Kamani Sensei was literally like an hour and a half long, and at the very end, he literally says, "Now we can address flow," because he had to go through the entire philosophical understanding of the way he lived his life before even being able to describe it in terms for martial arts. He tried, but he really circled back later. When I sat with James Pinkx, right, who's down in Naha, he said in the first time I ever interviewed him, he literally said, "I believe karate can cause world peace." And he said, "I understand, I get it, like it's cliche." And I just kept hearing this repetitive pattern from people. And I have way more examples, but they're really close. So that's like hits home. What is the role of spirituality in, like, it's cliche to say, like, you got to have this spiritual element and you have the monk, but what is the role?
That's a broad question.
It
Well, I
is.
would say
And
that
open-ended. I apologize.
I would say that all of us are, and my background is Christian, so I would say that all of us are we are spirit beings having a natural journey, right? So a journey of life. And in that, you have to understand that that despite the bad things we do sometimes, or the bad situations we have in life, that at its purest form, the spirit inside of each person consists of light, consists of life, and it consists of love. So at the purest point of that, the martial arts always, compared to other sports, it always causes you to face yourself in the mirror. If you go to a place that actually trains, like we talked about McDojos and stuff like that, if you go to a place that actually challenges you, it could be just forms. It doesn't mean you have to fight every day, but it challenges you to look at and really understand and stop deceiving yourself in the sense that I'm better than I am, or I'm better than other people. You can't really lie to yourself. You can tell everybody, I'm at this level, but in your heart, like, I suck. Or in your heart, like, for me, I think as a martial artist, after all these years, every day I'm like, I'm nowhere near the level I want to be. Every single day, no matter any of those goals on the wall, or any sport I've done, in track and field, in college, or basketball in college, whatever, like, all the things that I've done and accomplished, I still think there's always more to improve. But that's the spirit of a man or a woman that wants to keep growing, that understands that that reaching our potential or reaching a goal is an everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? So the martial arts, the spiritual side, is that it causes you to go past these hands and my thoughts and everything. It goes right to the soul, or right to the inside of the person every single day. And you have to face it. Every time a kid comes on the mat, that's part of leadership. And that's part of understanding as a martial arts instructor. That's why I said martial arts is like 10% of it. The rest of it is being a mentor and seeing where you are, or seeing where I'm at, seeing where this kid is, seeing where one of the champions is in their development with their spiritual side, and how they develop that the potential inside of them without going so spiritual into it, right? It's not that kind of podcast, but
Be surprised.
right. But I mean, you gotta understand that that for me, you never know your purpose unless you get it from the person who gave you the purpose in mind. And you'll never want to really seek what your purpose is if you aren't faced with those challenges. And the martial arts, why it's so great, is because it makes you face those challenges every time, as opposed to like soccer, or opposed to being like an artist or something like that, whatever it is. Martial arts, because other people are literally trying to punch you and kick you and choke you, you have to get up and say, man, I got to do something about this every single day that you're out there. Somebody, a boxer, every single day. I remember when I was fighting in the ring, you know what I thought about? When time stands still, like those 3 minutes for each round seemed like 10 minutes
They
sometimes.
do. They really do.
And
Yeah.
and the thing I thought about was like, I'm sitting there punching and kicking and getting punched and kicked and choking and being choked and escaping and this and all. And I'm thinking about, I'm not even thinking about punching this guy's face. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have ate those 3 Oreo cookies 2 weeks ago. That's
uh,
probably why I feel tired. It's a
uh,
self-reflection every single
uh,
day.
wow.
Why am I this? Why am I that? Well, it makes you focus on bettering yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really the spiritual side of martial arts, and why you probably said it can really change the world. When you really have to reflect, you stop making excuses
Mm,
for your bad behavior towards yourself, bad behavior towards other people, and you realize you need to fix you. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? You got to fix this. And then part of that, you fixing you, the spiritual side is part of me fixing me, is understanding it is my fault, but I can't fix myself. So that's why I have to look up and say, please fix me.
mm,
That's where it all connects.
mm. I know for me, when it comes to like training of any kind, when I get the itch, I'm like all in on it, right? And then life gets blah 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 blah. But I've been asked a lot, why do you even like it, or why do you enjoy it? And I've kind of had the same answer. It doesn't really surprise me that anywhere in the world where a martial art or fighting style was
Hmm.
being developed, all different cultures, races, all right, religions, it doesn't surprise me at all that there is almost always a spiritual element tied into it, because it forces you to be present.
It does.
Period.
And, I would add to that because martial arts is war, right? It's
Mm.
practicing
And
for
if I'm
war.
not present and I'm thinking about the
You
business
die.
meeting, the guy's going to choke me to death.
You die.
Literally, right?
Like in
So,
real life, you die. In
yes.
in a ring, you lose money and you get
Yes.
choked out. But the thing about it, I remember the first time I was at a professional fight, and I wasn't even fighting. I was just in the room where everybody was preparing, like all these different big names and small names and people coming up and champs and all that. And I remember the thing that really struck me was, other than warming up, the one thing that people were doing so much
Mm.
was they were praying. There was people, big old fighters, that would say a million cuss words,
Interesting.
and then they would sit down and open up a Bible and start reading and start praying. Like it was just all over the place. But it was just, that is the thing that struck me the most. It was like almost 100% of the people in the room, on both sides. I was walking around the stadium and stuff, in the back, but almost everybody was praying, or almost everybody was like quoting scriptures and throwing punches. It was because, and then if you've ever been in situations where your life is at stake, or been in the military in some certain zones, you understand that there's really not too many atheists on the battlefield.
Uh, yeah.
Everybody's praying,
Yeah. Yeah.
even if they don't believe, they're praying,
Yeah.
because it's that heightened sense of, this could be it. And I think that a true martial arts program, even for mine, is self-defense first. I don't care what style you do, capoeira, jiu-jitsu, MMA, kickboxing, it's self-defense first. I failed you as a teacher if I teach you capoeira, the nice part, and I don't teach you how to headbutt somebody when they're still in your wallet.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
on me. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
taught you the wrong way. So a lot of people say, they talk about McDojos, passing out belts, but there's so many gyms that only pass out sports.
Mm.
I want you to win this tournament. I want you to win
Yeah.
this trophy. But in real life, most of the kids, or most of those, couldn't even fight.
Mm.
There's people that go all the way through so many different styles of martial arts that have never been punched in the face square
Mm.
in their whole entire career.
That's funny. I think a study came out where men specifically overestimate their ability to fight by like
Oh,
4,000%
oh yeah,
or
oh yeah,
something, which
oh
is
yeah. I got that.
that number is yeah,
And even the sense, like I said, there's people that have gone through 10, 15 years in every style, never been punched square in the face, and the first time they get in an altercation, somebody hits them in the nose and they completely freeze up. It happens there. It happens in the military. There's people that, they find people all the time, like in war,
Mm.
where everybody's shooting and they die with their rifle aimed at people and never took a shot because they froze.
Mm.
They just died there with a full magazine, just looking at you freezing. You know, so it happens, and that's why we have to be conscious of that as teachers, to put you in scenarios that puts you on the edge of stress, but also covering you so you don't go off the deep end. You know what I mean? So I gotta look at each student and say, okay, that drill for that person stops right there today because they're close to their breaking point.
Mm.
And then the next time they can go a little bit further and they're a little bit stronger. The next time they're a little bit stronger. But you have some schools that they just throw you in there and kill you, and then they quit in like a week because it's
Yeah.
over the edge.
What's going on, guys? If you like that clip right there, you will love the full interview. You can check that out right there. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, and subscribe, because we got a lot of big things coming up in the near future.